Well, it's another Tuesday night, and this night we're not talking about theoretical teasers and trailers. We're talking about an actual teaser trailer a little bit later tonight, where we will be joined by Tommy B for the second week in a row as he gives his thoughts along with Johnny and Randy's thoughts on the Mando and Grogu trailer. If you were tuning in last night, we had an IPC reunion live on the channel. Ben Hart and Zach Arnold, along with myself, gave our thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser and just Star Wars direction in general. And that went for about an hour. And if you're a Star Wars fan, I strongly encourage you check that out. We're also gonna play a little bit of creator here and wear our creator hats. If we were in charge of the Halloween game, what are three of the top maps that we would have come out? And they can be from any movie whatsoever. A little bit of wrestling talk at the end. Johnny and Randy can catch us up on what happened at AEW All Out, and I really don't have much to say about WrestlePalooza. Yeah, and also a big surprise. All that and more on The Mask of Fear. Welcome back to the Mask of Fear Live. I am Sean, your host for this evening, alongside my partners in crime. First up, he's the Grand Moff. Randy, what's going on?
Yeah, not a whole lot. Just been a busy work week in just 2 days, which is always fun, but it is what it is. It's just kind of the nature of the beast. But as always, just glad to be here to help break up the monotony of work and just kind of lose myself in some fun discussions over horror and Star Wars.
Yeah, I was standing in almost like a semicircle earlier with a group of people, and I said, boy, it sure feels like Friday today, and yet it's only Tuesday. Ugh. But at least it's show day. Also joining us, he's been able to pull himself away. We don't see him tonight. I guess we're just looking at the JV tonight, but he's been able to pull himself away from the fabulous threesome territory. It's Mr. Fabulous Threesome himself, Johnny B.
We never leave the territory so much as we just, settle down and, take a break from all of the fabulousness of the area. No, I'm excited. It's good to be here. It's you're right. It's a Tuesday. It does feel like later in the week, which makes realizing it's Tuesday suck. But we got the show to look forward to. We've got the big surprise that you're promising, and I don't know. I have an idea based on some things you've said of what it might be, but we'll wait and see. I'm just glad it's not trivia. That's all I can say. Because usually when you get that giddy and excited in the chat before a show and start talking about surprises, it's because you have some cruel, vindictive trivia plotted out for the show. So I'm just glad it's not that.
So humor me. What do you think it is?
Well, based on a tweet you put out, I have a suspicion of what it might be, but I don't want to ruin the surprise for people who don't have that. But it's based off of that tweet that allows me to put 2 and 2 together and come up with sand.
Well, I would say this. You should think bigger in more ways than one and more legendary, and you should figure out your camera situation so that the audience, along with ourselves, can see your raw, natural reaction to the return of a legend. That will be right after our opening segment, believe it or not. So we're gonna get to that pretty quickly here because we're a little late getting going. Um, First and foremost, big thank you to our channel sponsors that allow us to come out here and do this on the level that we do. Mr. Jason Nike over at Backtrack Cinema, great place for retro horror reviews and action movie reviews from the 80s, even some from the 70s. I think he's done some 90s stuff as well. Jesse Storytime Spectacular, great place for all pop culture talk with a guy that's really down to earth. And Kaulignation, Ryan and I's NASCAR channel, which has had its quietest like 9 or 10 day period just because of the craziness of my life at the moment. Big thank you to our patrons who support the channel by subscribing for bonus content. We appreciate you. You can always sign up for Patreon today at the listed tiers. We do have some content coming, especially as October approaches. Halloween Heavy is going to be the name of this channel outside of some Star Wars watch parties. Let's dive right to it, fellas. First up, it is 3 Halloween games. Pardon me, 3 Halloween maps, not games. Jeez, that'd be a heavy task. 3 Halloween maps. You can pick them from any movie in the franchise that you would have as DLC for this game. I'll go, Randy goes, Johnny goes, and we'll give one at a time. My first one, it's a bit of a a softball, a beach ball, if you will, easy to hit, and it's the school from Halloween H2O. Obviously it appears as a big set piece in Scream 3 as well, virtually the same set. But I think there's something iconic about the school. It could also act as like a bit of a maze. Getting to see like maybe the car parked outside of the gate where Ronnie was, and where Laurie grabs the axe. It doesn't need to be a giant map, but big enough to allow for some maneuvering and running around. That would be at the top of my wish list. Randy?
Well, considering the fact that I had Hillcrest Academy on my list as well, at least we were thinking alike there in that respect. This was actually kind of hard for me because I feel like a lot of, at least for me, for some odd reason, a lot of the locations names don't stick out to me as much. Like I had to look up Hillcrest Academy just because I didn't want to look like I had no clue what I was talking about. But I think an idea for a map to be kind of cool is the farmhouse location they use for a party, whether it be from 5, whether it be from Rob Zombie's for part 2. Like having that farm setting where you at least make the map large enough to have a couple of houses on each side at least, and use the shadows wisely so that there are places to hide and ways of escaping. I think that'd be kind of neat because it also would leave with a farm setting, you have a lot of different various weapons Michael could pick up and use. So I think that would be ultimately a lot of fun. I wouldn't make it as open as you've seen in the movies, but I would definitely use, like I said, use shading, use lighting to really kind of help immerse people in that map and try to find various ways of hiding or to at least escape from Michael if even humanly possible.
All right. Well, it's ironic that we're playing this game because mine is specifically the barn from Halloween 5. Was the first one on my list, ironically enough. I want to see Michael in a more rural setting, instead of like we're going to get a lot of urban, I'm sure, but I want to see the rural setting at least for one map, just to have something different, because variety of maps is very important, in my opinion, for these sort of asymmetrical horror games. So yeah, I went with the barn from Halloween 5 and surrounding area.
Apologies, guys. I couldn't unmute myself, and I'm also trying to not knock everything down. You might be able to tell I'm also under the weather, so doing the best I can with a shorthand. What's going on, Rhino? What's going on, Joel? Hope you guys are doing great. Apologies for not getting the streams up beforehand to find, which hurts us in the algorithm. Hopefully, in a couple of weeks, life calms down a bit and I can sink a bit more time back into this. So my second one, bit of a hot take. It's the hospital, but it's not the hospital from the original Halloween 2. It's the hospital from Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. I like the slightly more modern take. I like the long, narrow staircase. I like where Buddy's trying to help Laurie out in where the security fence is and where they park. And it would be a fair-sized map for sure, but I think it has a little more character in it in those first 10, 15 minutes than the other hospital does. And that's saying something because I think the other hospital acts as its own character in Halloween 2. But for a video game, I think Rob Zombie's hospital works better.
Yeah, that would be a lot of fun. So since essentially two of mine are off the list, I'm going to try to go by memory here. But I would say for me, and I'm sure at some point we'll see it if we don't see it sooner rather than later, is present day downtown Haddonfield. But I'm talking about like near the radio station that we saw in Ends, and kind of like all the surrounding stores and whatnot, because there would be a real neat opportunity to utilize alleys and the different stores to potentially hide in. Plus, obviously, obviously, as we've discussed through some
Sorry,
of the
that
articles,
was Jade.
it's fine. It's all good. As we discussed through the articles and whatnot, having to find survivors, and trying to convince them to, hide with you or, do whatever the NPCs are going to do, to give that much space, to have that many types of nooks and crannies for people to hide in. Because I'm pretty sure there's going to be settings and stuff for where Michael can easily find people in certain ways. I would think they would try to implement certain types of tactics that would make your character give themselves away or whatnot, similar to Friday the 13th. Because that was actually a really cool mechanic, even though obviously Jason has a lot of supernatural abilities. With Michael, it will be different. But yeah, I think present day downtown Haddonfield, like near that music station and the shops in that area, I think that'd be a kind of a cool map to have.
I went sort of, I don't want to say different for my next one, but it's one that isn't. It's one of those ones you're either going to laugh at or be like, oh, I get it. I want the Cult of Thorn facility as a playable map, because it is so starkly different than any of the other possibilities.
Underground.
Yeah, the
Smith
underground
Grove.
facility. Yeah.
Now, would Smith Grove also be included in the map, and it's a really big one, or just the underground stuff?
I mean, if you wanted to include it as sort of an expansion to the Smith Grove map, I guess you could, but I would like to sort of see it unique. Now, you could like include sort of the outside of it, like when they break out and you sort of see the forests around Smith Grove, sort of as that, instead of like having the whole of Smith Grove. Now, I mean, you could do that as sort of like a variant, like a a Halloween 6 Smith Grove map, including the entire top. You could, sure, if you wanted to go that large. But for me, I just specifically want the underground facility part of it, because it is so different, like, and so bright. Which is something that's sort of like, when I think of it, I think of like those starkly white hallways, that you saw Loomis walking through, and that's sort of what I envisioned for this map. Something that's different. Like, you'd have sort of all the pathways and rooms and not necessarily alleys, but hallways and hiding places and things like that. So you would have to sort of expand it a little bit from what we saw in the film, but it is one that I would like to see, because it is so uniquely different. It is so bright. It would play so differently to most of the other maps. I think that I would like to see it.
That's a good one. That's I actually enjoy that one quite a bit. I'm going to take the bus depot from the beginning of Halloween 6, where Jamie hides her baby, later to be found by Tommy. Michael hunts her through there. It has like almost this creepy horror-like James Bond GoldenEye feel for a map. But I would also have it that you can go outside of the building too, and not just inside the building. So it'd be a fairly large map, and it always gave me a little bit of the creepy feels.
It is kind of a unique one. I think that would be. There's a lot of different things you could do with that type of a map. So for my last one here, I'm gonna go with something kind of off the wall, just because technically it's not Halloween canon in any way, shape, or form. But I would say the Silver Shamrock Factory, just for. I wouldn't say shiggles, but for the fun of getting to explore it in depth, and there would be plenty of places to hide, and obviously if you wanted to, you could add some stuff to the outer area of the map as well. But I think it would be kind of cool, since we've seen Easter eggs for Silver Shamrock in the more recent Halloween movies. I think that would be kind of a nice addition, just to give it something different. And maybe even you get to see the testing room as part of the map, which I think would be kind of cool.
It's definitely different. Not something that remotely crossed my mind, but when you say it, it's like, what, that actually could be fun and work quite nicely. Which brings me around to my last one. It's part of it is the haha funny, but it's a location that I think could be fleshed out and made fun. It's the junkyard from Ends. Because it would be, I don't want to say again that because it would be different to a lot of the other sort of maps we'd get, but I feel like it would allow for more interaction within the map, like being
Some
able
good
to
environmental kills.
Exactly, like being able to impede Michael's progress by knocking over piles and things of like that, and cars providing unique hiding places, and things that are different from everything else is sort of, I guess that's kind of the vibe of what I'm going for, is things that are different from what you'd expect. And I think a junkyard provides that opportunity. Like, don't get me wrong, it would absolutely be poetic justice to, instead of having Michael thrown into the grinder crusher thing, actually throwing other people into that as sort of poetic justice would be more fun, I think. But it's fun, it's different, and it's a map that I would enjoy personally.
I like that one. Another one I was considering, but I didn't go with because I thought it'd be too generic, is just like a woods map. Think like Johnny, you both played Gears of War, but if you think back to the way you used to be able to glitch out a bullet marsh, and what it was like, well, without the graphical glitches, but like a big forest area like that, where like Michael could just be anywhere at any time. and you could go long stretches of just hiking through the dark and never to find anything. It's just woods. I think that'd be also cool in a almost like Shining-esque type way. And then obviously the bonus map we're all waiting for, the team up, which would never happen because of rights. But Michael in the Overlook, give it to me.
I think my team up would rather be Michael at Crystal Lake, but I'm a simp for that. Or give me Michael on Elm Street.
Randy's H5. Michael at the Elm Street house.
That would be cool.
All right. Well,
answer the age-old question: does Michael dream?
Comment down below what you would want for 3 Halloween maps that can be from any movie of your choosing. Let us know your thoughts there. All right. So we promised a big surprise on this episode. That will be, the good chunk of this next segment. And that will be followed by our thoughts on the Mandalorian and Grogu teaser. And Johnny and Randy walking us through a bit of AEW All Out at the end of the show, because I really don't have much positive to say about WrestlePalooza. So,
what is there positives to say about that show?
Apparently, neither did ESPN, so you're not alone.
Got even worse for their Raw rating. Did you see that?
I saw a fake post about it, and if you read it, it's all the way through clearly fake. I think I know the one you're talking about.
I saw it from someone real, so I didn't read the actual post, so I may have fallen for the joke without reading the joke.
If you read the actual post, there's no way ESPN said that. But yeah. Anyways, so it's been a hard week for me, and big thanks to Zach and Ben for making last night fun on Bannerman Banter. It was a ton of fun. Johnny, you were spoke about often, and it would be cool to get us all back in the same place at the same time discussing something Star Wars related down the line. But sometimes when you open one door, another door blows right open. And sometimes you just have to allow that monster to come in and wreak havoc on what you originally had planned. And I want to... you still hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want to cue this up by this message I received today. And where is it here? Okay. In a chat that we're all in, I said, there will be 4 topics in general: Halloween, unknown, Mando teaser discussion, and wrestling. And one individual said, for the sake of my sanity, unknown is not trivia, right? ...
I do notice you didn't say no to that. Now that you're pointing this out and saying it, I don't like where this is going.
And my response was, does it seem like I've had any level of free time to plan a trivia thing for this kind of show?
Oh, God.
Meaning an all-encompassing show, Halloween, horror, Star Wars, wrestling. I don't have time to do that.
I don't like where this is headed.
And I said, believe me, I wish I did, but my mind is torn about 15 different ways. I'm just trying to keep my head above water and enjoy chatting with my buds for some escapism. So, sorry to disappoint. I did not have time to arrange a brand new trivia game for this show that none of us have discussed on any level. But what I did have time to do was this.
hate you.
My guess being completely wrong was totally justified with Johnny's reaction.
I hate it here.
I would like the record to show that I, in fact, did not lie, and that one panelist just chose to not read my reply very carefully. And I even thought to myself as he made that comment, how can I
thought
be
it, but I was like, I don't
this?
want to be that guy to be like, you didn't say no. I should have. I know you better than that. I should have, but I took you at your word, and I regret my choices.
So we can do this two ways. We can have the two of you hold up pen and paper to do your answers, which would be my preferred choice when we do this going forward. But if you don't have that, we can do it the old school lazy way where you just type your answer back to me in a private chat, not a group chat. Since I left you guys unprepared.
I'm good either way, Johnny. You just got to let me know.
Mon Mothma dance from Johnny.
I'm plotting exit routes is what I'm doing right now. So, like, I'm thinking, like, first floor. Could I just jump out the window? Would that be okay? But then, like, I'd have to open the window and take the fan out and remove the screen. That'd just be more work than it's worth. I could just go back out through the door. That might work. I could fake a power outage. That's a thing I could do. If we're doing pen and paper, I'd need a minute to get one.
That's fine. You can take you can take a minute, and in the meantime, it's back, baby! Star Wars Wasteland trivia, and guess what? This is only matchup number 1. We have other matchups planned, and I really have to give all credit to Zach and Ben, who kind of nursed this idea back into being a thing.
So it's them I need to do bodily harm to, then.
Oh, his camera all of a sudden doesn't work. Whatever.
That's just while I hunt around. I don't think anyone wants to see my ass while I get a pen and paper.
I'm not going there. Not touching it. I'm not saying a damn thing. Nope. Low hanging fruit. Go for it, Sean.
Dustin already did. Now I really don't want to see that Mon Mothma dance. Not from Johnny, anyway.
There will not be any... I don't dance. You've known me long enough to know that I don't dance. I weaseled my way into doing essentially nothing in every major school dance project we ever had. I was very good at that.
Well, when we're waiting, allow me to go over the rounds. The way this is going to work is there are 3 rounds. Round 1, there are 6 questions that will be posed to each individual. You get 1 point for each one you get right. There will be a question from the prequel trilogy, the original trilogy, the sequel trilogy, TV, games, and literature for 6 questions in round 1. Round 2, I think we used to call it the poison round. The wheel round is here, and there's a wheel graphic all ready to be shown as well, where you will get 2 questions. And depending on what you land on for your topic, if you get the question right without the use of multiple choice, you will get 3 points. If you get the question right with the use of multiple choice, you will get 2 points. If you don't get the question right in the allotted amount of time, or you get it wrong, the other opponent has a chance to steal the question, but they can only steal it for 2 points, and they couldn't steal it if you used multiple choice, and you can only use multiple choice on one of your 2 questions. And then the third and final round, there'll be 2 questions asked, and it is the betting round, just like the old days, inspired by the movie Trivia Showdown way back in the day. All right, let's get back to it. The first official Star Wars Wastelands trivia in who knows how long. We're starting
Not
with
long
records
enough.
of 0-0. And let's see what comes of this. All right, you guys will have precisely 8 seconds to get the question right. I might be generous and it might fall to 10 seconds. We'll see. But category number 1, the prequels. Name all 3 years the prequel movies were released in theaters, starting now. Let us know when your answers are in. Pens down, please. All right, let's start with the man who just couldn't wait to do this again, Johnny V. Let me see here. He's got 99, 2002, 2005. Randy, what do you got?
It even shows up on the camera. The lighting sucks. And I've got the 99, 2003, and 2005.
So you got 99, 03, and 05.
Yep.
The correct answer is 99, 02, and 05, bringing the current score, Johnny 1, Randy 0.
I remembered 1 and the rest fell into place. And it was 3 years between all 3. And I remember 05 was Revenge, so simple
All
math.
right. This one's in Johnny's wheelhouse.
Don't say that.
The original trilogy. In the original trilogy, the unaltered releases of it, how many movies does Jabba the Hutt appear in?
Original unaltered.
It's in the movies that were released in 77, 80, and 83. 5, Porg, 3,
Damn it.
2, 1, and time's up. Pens down. Randy, let's see your answer.
Well, since you said unaltered, I just went with 1, Return of the Jedi.
Johnny, what do you got?
I went with 2. I changed that from 1 at the last second, so if it is 1, I'm going to be mad.
It is 1, Return of the Jedi.
I should have just trusted my gut.
His stuff was cut from A New Hope.
I thought he was still in the background of one scene that wasn't cut. That's why I went to 2. I was like, wait, wasn't he? No.
So after 2 questions, it's 1-1. Now on to everyone's favorite trilogy, the sequel trilogy.
Find me a person whose favorite trilogy is that, and I'll find you someone who's not a teenager yet.
Who was originally supposed to write and direct Star Wars Episode 9? This would be before the film was titled The Rise of Skywalker. 5, Porg, 3, 2, 1, time's up, pens down. Johnny, what do you got?
I went with George Lucas because before he sold it to Disney, he had a plan for it. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it.
Randy, what do you got?
I have Colin Trevorrow.
That is correct. Randy takes a 2-1
Filing a
lead.
formal protest because George did have an episode 9 that he planned.
You're
to
not
do.
wrong. He did have it, and he did have something planned. I'm not
So
going
he was the original person. And if you'd have said the original Disney choice, I'd give you that. But I don't know, man. This feels like a points across the board question at least, because I'm not wrong, and neither is Randy.
On to TV. How many episodes of The Mandalorian have there been to this point? Five, Porg, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Randy, what do you got for us?
I was trying to remember off the top of my head, but I went with 30.
All right. Johnny, what do you got?
I channeled our good friend Mondo when I wrote too damn many.
Both are incorrect, and yes, that was very Mondo. We were looking for 24 people. 20.
It's funny because that would have been my actual number, but I felt the joke was more appropriate.
I just couldn't remember if all 3 seasons they were 8 episodes apiece. I thought like the first couple were a little longer, but I guess I was wrong.
Unfortunately, not. On to video games. What was the first Star Wars game released for the N64? Five, Porg, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Pens down. Johnny, what do you got?
I went Shadows of the Empire. I think that came out a few months before Rogue Squadron, but it could have been the other way around.
I mean, that's pretty much a softball. That was Shadows of the Empire.
Indeed, it was, and that's going to make the score 3-2 in favor of Randy. All right, our final question of round 1. Literature. I know Johnny's on top of this one.
Oh, absolutely I am.
What was the first book released in the Star Wars New Jedi Order series? Sorry, pen's down. I'm dying over here, sneezing and runny nose. Johnny's placed some voodoo on me to finish the job. Am I talking?
Yeah.
You were. I was just finishing writing.
It's weird. I have a graphic on my screen claiming I'm not talking, but you guys can hear me. Okay.
I can definitely see the visual notification that you are, so as well as the fact I can hear your voice.
All right. Well, there was a little extra time there. Good guess, Dustin, by the way. Randy, what do you got?
Honestly, I don't remember the name, so I don't know.
Johnny?
One Sith, two Sith, red Sith, blue Jedi.
We were looking for Vector Prime. Could you open it, please? Thank you. Looking for Vector Prime. Okay, so at the end of round 1, the score is Randy 3, Johnny 2. This is a close one. They weren't softballs, but I thought they were all answerable questions. Nothing too outlandish. I know Johnny's protesting the one, but wouldn't be a Wasteland trivia thing without some sort of protest towards a question.
You are
But
not
what
wrong
it does-
on that fact.
Let's head to everyone's favorite part of trivia, the wheel. But let's adjust how the wheel is displayed. All right. I didn't mean for it to be quite like that, but... Or like that. This is very weird how it's behaving today. All right. So, Randy, you are the leader. Would you like to go first or second?
I'll go second.
All right, Johnny. We're going to give it a spin here, and we'll see what you end up with. Oh, I forgot an option. My bad. 1 second. Glad I caught that. You guys get to see live editing. And also watched my terrible spelling come out. Is that right, opponent? Opponents?
This isn't a spelling bee. It's close enough.
I'm pretty sure that is correct.
Opponent's choice. All right, here we go.
I'm more offended that you put behind scenes there.
Oh, yes.
No. Thank God.
Movies. All right. I thought Johnny was really going to be cursed.
It seemed like it there for a second.
Let's go to movies. Now let's go over how this works again. If Johnny gets the question right, you'll have 10 seconds to answer without using multiple choice.
Since it's just me, I can just answer, right?
Correct.
Okay.
You will get 3 points. If you need multiple choice, you will only get 1 point. If you answer the question wrong, you will get no points, and Randy will have a chance to steal as long as you didn't use multiple choice. And you can only use multiple choice on one of your 2 questions here in round 1 of the wheel round. All right. First up, how many lightsaber duels are there in the original trilogy?
Shit. This is one of those ones that actually sort of sticks out as a question we did back in the olden days. I'm going to say 27.
Well, is that your final answer?
Yes.
Okay. Johnny must have thought we said prequel trilogy.
Johnny
But
definitely
we
thought you
said-
said prequel trilogy.
We said original trilogy.
Oh boy,
and
that's
that's
a whole different answer.
That's very incorrect.
Very much so.
That might be the worst answer we've ever had given, and we've had Mondo play several rounds of it.
That's incorrect by a factor of plus 20.
Wow.
Yeah, I definitely
thought you
thought you said
had that
prequel. I definitely thought you said prequel, or else I could have just actually mathed.
All right,
really
Randy,
quickly.
chance to steal, man. 10
I
seconds.
hate this.
10.
So for overall duels, the only thing I can think of is 4.
3. 4? The final answer?
Mm-hmm.
That is correct. You got Kenobi versus Vader, 1. You have the dream sequence in Empire, 2. You have the actual one in Empire, 3. And then you have the final duel in Return of the Jedi.
Okay, clearly it's 5.
4.
You're forgetting Han versus the Tauntaun.
I must have missed the altered version of the Tauntaun drawing his saber and igniting it. But Randy will take a commanding 5-2 lead there with that steal, sir. Yes, 5-2 lead.
I'm going to assume you don't
Johnny.
have the prequel number, so I can be vindicated in my correctness.
I don't have the prequel numbers.
Yeah.
No, I have not had time to arrange a bunch of these. This will be week to week. All right. What was the name of Luke Skywalker's best friend in Star Wars: A New Hope?
Shit.
To me or Johnny?
To Johnny.
Okay.
He's got about 5 seconds.
I don't remember, but I'm going to assume Randy does, so I'm going to take multiple choices to nerf his possibility of pointage.
All right, your options are Porkins, Jackson, Dak, or Biggs.
I'm going with Dak.
That is incorrect. We were looking for Biggs.
It's Biggs Darklighter, damn it.
You forgot to give Randy a chance to get 1 point there. Thanks for that.
I don't think I can steal on the multiple choice ones. Since
I thought you
You
could, but it
cannot.
nerfed your points.
Nope, you cannot.
Yeah.
No stealing on multiple choice.
I'm in the
I
old
literally
ways
sat there the moment that
then. Well, I
question hit,
knew
was
you
just
knew
like,
it, so I just, I couldn't remember. I knew it wasn't Jack. I knew as soon as he said it. I'm like, that's not Porkins.
All right, Randy, here we go. Here's your spin for your first wheel round. We got Tommy B in the green room who will join us in about 15 minutes' time. Even with shuffling, we end up back on movies. Now, I want everyone to know that it is 5-2 for Randy, and that will eliminate any chance of anyone landing on movies for the rest of the game because there's only 4 questions prepped. Randy, what is the name of the planet Luke Skywalker is hiding on at the end of The Force Awakens?
Octo.
That is correct, giving Randy a commanding 8-2 lead.
It's Octu, not Octo. That's an entirely
Oh,
different
my.
planet. And it probably is in the Star Wars universe.
At least it wasn't
Alrighty.
Octong.
Your next question. What Star Wars movie does Daniel Craig have a cameo in?
The Force Awakens.
What the hell?
That is correct. And Randy with a commanding 11-2 lead. Wow. This feels like all those Patriots-Packers playoff matchups from back in the day.
They don't exist.
You're right, they don't.
They're
They
in two
remind me
different
of
conferences.
the Bucks and the past when Brady was there. There we go.
They
all
never
right,
played
Johnny.
each other either.
Yes, they did.
You
The
said Pats.
Bucks eliminated them.
You said Bucks and Pats. Yes.
Brady beat your team. Fuck off.
Okay.
You know what I was good at.
He beat every team. What's your point?
All right.
I still have I've never lost a Super Bowl on the 1 yard line.
Oh. You know what? Just for that, we should add a few more behind-the-scenes slices to this. All right, here we go. Johnny's second spin for a second round of the wheel round. Behind the scenes or opponent's choice. Come on.
Let's not.
Come on. Shit.
I don't think that works with virtual wheels.
All right, games and literature. Johnny needs a big showing here to get himself back into this. Question number 1. What Star Wars game is Rosh Pennon from? Remember, you can use multiple choice, but only in one.
I don't think multiple choice would help me here because I feel like you'd have games from the same series.
That does happen in the multiple choice questions for this.
So you're not helping me here. So multiple choice is out. I'm fairly confident that is a character in one of the Jedi Knight games. So I am going to guess Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast.
That is incorrect. Randy for the steal.
Jedi Knight, Jedi Academy.
That is correct, bringing the score.
They were both options in multiple choice, weren't they?
Yes, they were.
Yeah, I figured.
13
I figured
to
as
2.
much, which is why I didn't waste my time with it. Because I knew it was a 50-50.
13 to 2. Alrighty. Here we go. Johnny really needs to score a full 3 points on this one. And the good news is Johnny should get this one. What Star Wars book series does Jason Solo die in?
Legacy of the Force.
That is correct for 3 points, keeping him alive in the game. 12 to 5. Alrighty. We go to Randy's next wheel round here, man. Let's see what you get. I don't want anything back to back. It's just becoming
Much harder with less choices.
Yes, sorry. Here we go. Will Johnny get a chance to steal? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh my God!
Wow.
Randy has had a very favorable wheel tonight.
That was definitely sheer luck.
All righty, let's get to the questions in TV. All right, Randy, how many episodes of Andor are there? You have 10 seconds.
I am going to say 24.
That is correct. Randy takes a commanding 16 to 5 lead. All right, question number 2. What Star Wars show does the legendary cinematographer from Halloween, Dean Cundey, participate in as a cinematographer?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go multiple choice on that one.
All right. Your options are The Book of Boba Fett, The Mandalorian, Ahsoka, or Andor.
I'm just honestly, for some odd reason I really don't know, but I am going to say The Mandalorian.
That is incorrect. We were looking for The Book of Boba Fett. So heading into the final round.
I'm not usually one to be like, actually, but he did both.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, I pulled it up because I was curious the answer while you were talking. Once Randy said multiple choice, he did one episode of the he did one Mandalorian and 2 Book of Boba Fett episodes.
What episodes is on Mandalorian?
Chapter 17, The Apostate. He's credited as the director of photography.
Oh, that's a season 3 episode. Oh,
Yeah.
Dean. All right, okay. Well, we'll throw Randy another question. All right. What are we on? Games and literature?
Yeah.
No, it's TV.
No, we're not. TV. Okay.
Well, it's actually 3 and 2 according to IMDb.
In what live-action Star Wars TV show does the planet Naboo appear in?
Andor.
That is correct. Maybe Johnny shouldn't have said anything.
We go from hard to fucking kindergarten.
Well, it's a 19 to 5 score heading into the final round. You have to bet at least something. You can bet all your points if you like, or you can bet one of your points. It's 19 to 5 right now for Randy. Send me a message on Messenger with how many points you're betting on your first question here.
How many questions are there?
2, and you get to bet on both. So you're saying there's a chance.
Not really, because mathematically he just bet 1 on both, and
you
I
could
would
still
need to
win.
get both correct.
Correct.
Well,
Yes.
he's at 19, so if he gets both correct, no,
You
I
could
can't,
get
even
20.
if I max.
No. But if he gets both wrong and you get both right and max, you win.
Yeah. If I believe that, I would be Lloyd Christmas.
All right. The bet is in. Here we go. What planet does Jedi Knight Jedi Academy end on? What is the final planet in the game? You have 10 seconds to answer. Make sure they're written down, boys. 5, Porg, 3, 2, 1, and time is up. Randy, show us what you got, man.
I wrote down Korriban.
Alrighty. Johnny, what do you got?
I'm glad I watched a playthrough of this not too distantly long ago. Isn't it Yalara?
The correct answer is Korriban.
Is that the mission name, or did I get my games wrong? I watched both.
I'm not sure, but I know it ends on Korriban.
God damn it.
Which is fun because Jedi Knight Jedi Academy basically came out at the same time as Knights of the Old Republic, and to be on the same planet in the same place 4,000 years apart was pretty cool. But what that does is it brings Randy's score up to 23 and Johnny's score down to 0. And we're going to have the last question just for sport. Johnny can only get up to... You can break the shutout, essentially. You can gain a single point here. You can't lose anything. Randy, you can message me how much you're betting. I would advise maybe not betting everything and allowing him to make some miraculous comeback off one question.
Yeah, Randy, bet everything. For the content!
What is the first planet seen on screen during The Force Awakens? Five, Porg, 3, 2, 1. Time is up. Randy, what do you got?
I drew a blank. I can picture I can see it. I can picture it, and yeah, for the freaking life of me, I don't know why. I just drew a blank.
I'm in no better place. It's the one the pirates are orbiting, but I don't remember which one it was.
Sorry, kid issue on our end. Who was given their answer?
Neither of us have it.
Oh, neither of you have it? All right.
I legit said I can picture it. I can see it. I just drew a blank.
I said it's the one the pirates are orbiting, but I don't remember.
Jakku.
I knew it began with a J, and I just couldn't. I couldn't put 2 and 2 together. That's on me.
Jakku. All right, that is going to make the final score of our first matchup back 13 for Randy, 0 for Johnny. It's a goose egg, a shutout in the return of Johnny's favorite segment, Star Wars Trivia.
Factually inaccurate.
And now we're joined by that guy, the return of the legendary Yellow Hoodie.
Yeah, didn't make him suffer through trivia.
Wouldn't be Tommy B without having the Yellow Hoodie. And we're just missing the long locks from the past to bring things back. But joining us, man, myth, legend, avoided trivia this time anyway. It's Tommy B.
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
You are pretty quiet.
Did not hear any of that.
How far were you from the mic?
Really?
Now we can.
There we go.
Maybe I just have to open my mouth a little bigger. Okay. Well then, you're
Comment.
wrong on that final question for well, not final question, the Korriban one. The game ends on Yavin 4.
All I got out of that was on Yavin 4.
Oh, I suppose they did do the happy ending, didn't they?
Oh, okay. So yeah, I see what he's going with. Yeah. See, I did the dark side ending so much with that game where you're on Korriban and then it goes up to the Star Destroyer and Jaden's on it, staff.
How about now? Any better?
Yes, sir.
A little.
Okay. Yeah. Yes. So the ending cinematic ends on Yavin 4 at the Academy. I had to look
The good
that
guy
up.
ending. I mean, the bad
For
guy.
the light
ending.
side, for the light side ending, yeah, but for the dark side ending, yeah, you do end up
Ending is the
taking
canon.
out Kyle Katarn, and
It's not canon anymore, right? So. Yeah,
Well-
I'm doing okay, guys.
I still want my point for the George Lucas answer because that was correct.
We're gonna do the unthinkable here, and this could get us taken down. Might get us taken down.
Do we have to do this?
Probably will get us taken down. But who knows? We are actually gonna watch the trailer.
Oh, wake me up when it's over, please.
All right. Let's see. What do we got here? And I should quote it appropriately. It's a teaser, not a trailer. My bad.
You were teased. Look how teased you are.
All right.
Tease.
Here we go. I'm going to lower the volume on this sucker. Closed captioning's on. Let's give this thing a watch. If my computer can handle it. And here we go. Oh, it's an actual live action actor. Man, I bet they're all over this trailer.
Boy, have I got news for you.
Oh, we got some crowd.
So you saying your big complaint is too much CGI, not enough real actors?
I'll go one step
What?
further. There's not enough acting in this trailer, period.
Too much happening is your complaint?
hence why called a teaser.
No.
And there you have it. Forged for IMAX, the Mandalorian and Grogu. Clearly, Johnny and I have some thoughts on this, but maybe we will start things with Team Glass Half Full and head on down to Randy for some
Maybe if
thoughts,
it's a
followed by
shot
Tommy
glass.
B.
All right, look, I get it. It had more of the feel of something you would show before a new season dropped. I get that part. I also understand that if memory serves me correctly, all this footage was stuff that's been shown previously, essentially behind closed doors, quote unquote.
Most of it.
Yeah. So I get the frustration for a lot of people who already knew what was going to all this stuff. But I'm going to look at it from the perspective of someone who's not your typical raving, raging lunatic of a Star Wars fan, because there are plenty out there. But I'm going to look at it as the casual fan, the person who's going to sit there and basically make up the bulk of the audience. What they did here is they gave you plenty of Grogu. They gave you and some little cutesy things. Because I'm going to say this in all honesty, this isn't a movie for us. Never was. This is a movie for someone like my wife, who's just a casual fan who just loves Star Wars, who loves Grogu. This is for the kids. This is plain and simple. This is going to be for the kids. And it also the one thing that we need to really take away from this, proof that we're finally returning to theaters. Now, whether it's good or bad, we'll see when it finally drops. But the fact that we finally have proof that there truly is going to be something released in theaters for the first time in almost a decade, that is what's exciting about this. So honestly, I didn't hate it. I'm not as hype as, say, my wife or probably other people who are just kind of like, cool, Star Wars. Oh, look, Grogu. Obviously, I would like a little more plot. I would like to, it was cool seeing Zeb do something in the trailer. I thought that was pretty cool. The real question here is somehow the Razor Crest returns. I want to know that story, because last time I checked, that thing was in pieces. So, but yeah, overall, I don't view it as a horrible teaser trailer. But I also feel like the timing of it was a little interesting. We don't have to go into details if it's just, it is what it is. And at least it's in time, I guess, to attach it to Tron Ares when that releases next month, which I'm actually excited for. I can't wait to see that movie. But yeah, that's my thoughts on it.
Well, the good thing for Tron Ares is once people pay for the ticket, they have the money. So when everyone runs out of the theater from seeing the teaser, they'll still be okay. Tommy B.
I feel really sad saying this. Sean, can you rewind, please? Show me where the Razor Crest is. Just show me a still. Don't tell me you guys can't hear me.
No, we got you.
I got you.
Assumed he was scrolling or something.
Yeah, I'm working on it here. I haven't watched this thing very much. Thank
this
God.
is my third watch through. I watched it once on the phone, once on.
Well, interestingly enough, that is like the Cassian Andor ship, I believe.
That's a U-wing.
But the Razor Crest, I believe.
I think that was it right there, wasn't it?
Right there, yeah.
Is that a different paint job than what we have?
Yeah, it's a different
it looks like a new
Razor Crest.
It's like a newer, shinier version, essentially.
Okay. Huh. Yeah, there's no way, chronologically speaking, they could have squeezed this between. When does Razor Crest get blown up? In season 2, middle of season 2, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
There's no real way they could have squeezed this in there and still had him known as Grogu. That just would not have worked, unless it's like the whole thing is like a flashback, which I don't see them doing. So yeah, that really brings the question of this has to be a different ship. It has to be. Wow, Randy, that's a big head scratcher. Yeah, you really got me thinking there. Anyway, y'all didn't tune in to listen to me ruminate about this. I generally liked what I saw in the trailer. Like Randy said, I totally understand that this is, on one end of things, going to be something that is more targeted toward the audience. You see Grogu, or as everyone's going to say, his baby Yoda, and they're going to go see him. And that's what's going to sell tickets to this. Just like the Porgs and the Ewoks and so on and so forth. I think there will be enough here that will make fans of the show like this. and I think it'll still be okay. It will be what? The first Star Wars movie in how many years? That's wonderful. I'm
It'll
happy
be
to see.
7 when it comes out. 7 years.
I'm happy to see something come out. I mean, they're this close. What are the chances of them screwing it up at this point? Yeah, I guess they still could. Don't knock on wood. But
So say, don't put that out there.
yeah. Don't panic. I liked. I really like what they're wrapping in there with the hut, Rod of the Hut, I believe. Kind of an odd choice, but also an interesting one. I'm hoping they make it for a good reason, not just here's this character we did this thing with a couple times, and now we're gonna bring him in. I like things like that. I like seeing connections to the wider story. Sometimes folks will say it's too small of a galaxy, you're making it too small. I like seeing the connections because I feel that it makes good storytelling. Overall, the action has me intrigued. I don't typically go to see movies in IMAX. I don't know that I will, but it sounds like they're pushing it. I'm satisfied with this first initial look. Now, if you were to ask me about what was generic, I would tell you that I feel like the logo and the poster looks a little generic, a little.
You
Could have
mean they
done.
didn't just steal it from Buck Rogers?
They could have done. They could have done a bit more, but I couldn't do better. So be it. Okay, let's go get the negativity started.
Johnny V, lead us off.
There were a collective, 6 words spoken in that whole trailer? Teaser trailer. It's a teaser trailer. It's a cock tease trailer. It's the get you excited and then leave you hanging. It does nothing. It doesn't excite me for the movie that's to come because it didn't give me anything about the movie that's to come. It didn't tease anything for me. The closest thing to a tease is, so he's got a new A21, A22, whatever. So he's got a new Razor Crest. That's nice. I don't give me something that I can actually sort of sink my teeth into that's worth teasing. And this isn't it. This is all action, and it's not enticing action because there's no element of story. There's no teasing what the story's about, which is what I'd want from a teaser trailer. Like, I get it. It's a minute. That's fine. But give me something. You captured a little bit of funny, with Grogu trying to steal the bowl from Sigourney Weaver. Okay, great. There's a little haha in there, but everything else, it was just too. Everything's happening, but nothing's happening because I don't know why anything's happening. There's no context to anything that's happening. It's just happening. That's not going to excite me. This felt like a teaser for a Michael Bay movie. And if that's what we're signing up for, sign me out. I'm not interested in that. I want story. I want something that I can actually sink my teeth into. And if you've been around these shows long enough, you know that usually I'm more forgiving on the visual side than Sean is. I can forgive a lot of the volume stuff, the green screen stuff, the stuff that just doesn't look good. But can we talk about those walkers for a second and how fucking ridiculous they looked? That looked like some fucking elementary school, my first time working in whatever edit software they're using. They looked like shit. They didn't look like walkers. It looked like cheesy video game graphics, and not even good video game, cheesy video game graphics.
Sean, could you give us a still of the walkers so we can allow Johnny to complain a little more vividly?
It's just everything about them. Just look at this. This is ridiculous. They look so fucking phony. Like, not even good phony.
It
Like,
look like they were just like slapped on top there, doesn't it?
exactly. Like, they look like somebody cut and paste the walkers into this sequence. Like,
they have more than half a year to fix it and make it look better.
then
You
why
know
does it
that.
have to be in the trailer?
How many teasers
What
have we
does this
seen
see?
where it looks
What?
like shit
Hold
and
on
then
now.
they
Hold on.
act
This is like
Hang
10
on.
seconds of the trailer. What purpose does it serve if you cannot clean these up and make these? If you are going to put this in the this is the first thing people are seeing of this movie, and this is what you're going to go with? This I barely finished my homework, but I still have to hand it into the teacher crap? No.
Oh,
This
yeah, I
is
was an
the
expert at that.
this is this is the teaser trailer. This is the teacher puts this on the bulletin board so everyone in the class can see how fucking good they are. Not this. This is you
Jameson
hand this to the
points out-
teacher and they're like, "Oh, congratulations, you finished on time."
Jameson points out it's similar to the trailer they ran during Star Wars Celebration. Interestingly enough, I had seen part of that trailer, like half of it. And the AT-AT shots in that shot from all those months ago is a billion times better than this shot here. This shot looks like that T-Rex Ranch show that my kid watches, and the dinosaurs are supposed to be there, but they're not really.
Like
It's
I
bad.
get the point you're making, Randy, and saying that, like, oh, by the time we actually see this on screen, it'll look better. And it damn well better, for one. But, like, it's not like this is a story beat, right? Like, this isn't a Din and Grogu shot that is pivotal to explaining the story and giving you your tease of the story. It's just an action shot of a walker falling off the side of a cliff. It doesn't need to be here. If this sequence of what was it, 5 seconds, 6 seconds, whatever it is not in the trailer, are you like, oh man, we really missed a set piece here? No. It's just a few seconds shorter. Like, it's not. Putting that up there in the middle of the rant took my wheels out. But, like, it just it
You're not
doesn't
helping,
need to be
Dustin.
here. It does not need to be here as far as a teaser goes. Like, a teaser is supposed to excite me. It is supposed to get me going, like, man, I can't wait to see this. I can wait to see this. Like, everything about this was just like, there's no storytelling. Like, does Din even say a word in the trailer at all? Like, I mean, you hear what, like,
Impressive is the only thing he says.
Sigourney speaks. Like, you hear more from fucking Rhoda the Hutt, which don't even get me started on that nightmare-inducing thing that is a sequence in this trailer that does not need to be there either. This trailer, it shows me nothing. It excites me about nothing. And it, in fact, makes me angry. That this is exactly what I was most afraid of. This is TV schlock that belongs on Disney Plus. And not only has it not assuaged my fear to be like, oh, okay, there, I'm confident they can put it. I'm now more afraid than I was earlier, because not only do we have this unfinished piece of crap, then we have this. And the poster that goes along with it that looks like somebody opened up ChatGPT and says, draw me a Mandalorian and Grogu poster in the style of Drew Struzan. And this is what they come up with.
Oh, no. Let's not knock Drew like that.
I'm not knocking Drew. I'm knocking
this is Buck Rogers.
I'm knocking the garbage that this is. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what this looks like. Somebody went to ChatGPT and said, draw me a Mandalorian and Grogu poster in the style of Drew, because it does sort of have that Drew style when you look at it. Like, I'm talking about the poster, not inherently this. But, like, it looks like trash.
Well, unfortunately, Johnny, you and I both know, since we're how big of gamers we are, that's the trend even in gaming now. So it doesn't surprise me if Disney did do something like this, because I mean, I know now Microsoft is basically making it mandatory for their employees to use AI and all that stuff in their day-to-day work. So that would not surprise me if something like that happened here either. So I see your point.
It looks like crap. It looks like somebody at Disney gave them a deadline and said, we need a trailer out for this day. Which, why? No idea. Because it's a random day. Like, they put it out on Monday, and they didn't even put it out during Monday Night Football. On their own fucking network. Like, hello? What? It didn't even air during Monday Night Football. Not even go to YouTube to see the Mandalorian. Nothing. Not even a mention. Like, it's stupid. It's unnecessary. It did nothing to garner goodwill for me. it just garnered ill will, and it's gross. And watching it, I just no, thank you. I am less interested in this now. I will say this: I am less interested in this film right now than I was when they announced Andor in the "Did I really want this?" category. That's how bad I feel about this right now. Like, I don't care. If they announce tomorrow that this film would be going in theaters and releasing on Disney Plus same day, do you know what I'm picking? I'm watching it on Disney Plus because at least there I'll feel like I got my money's worth. So you got a lot to make up for when you release the actual trailer, whenever that is. Because like this, no, thank you. I'm not interested. You have created a hill that is too steep. I don't think if there is nothing between the teaser trailer and the actual movie, I don't think the movie could do anything short of being Empire to make me come out of it feeling good.
Well, I think you're right in the sense they probably did rush it out, and that's why it wasn't shown on Monday Night Football because it wasn't planned. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it was more meant to be a distraction while Disney got their shit together to reinstate Jimmy Kimmel. I think that's really what this ended up being, but that's my take on it because it did feel like it was rushed. All of a sudden, oh, here it is, out of nowhere. But you're right; it should have been on Monday Night Football. They should have pushed it on there. The way they handled the marketing so far is not great.
Feel like someone hasn't gone yet. Oh, yeah.
Didn't you have your hour plus of ranting last night? Go ahead, man.
Let me sum it up like this. Hang on, I need to take a drink for this. Yes, it's alcohol, Cindy. All right. And in one corner, you have the juggernaut, mega blockbuster, star-studded cinematic event written by Academy Award nominated writers and the director of the biggest blockbuster major motion picture film of 2024, starring multiple Academy Award winners with a cinematography done by the Academy Award winner for that department, filling out this spectacle event. And in the other corner, you have the Mandalorian and Grogu. Is what this feels like. I still stand by. I could go see this thing and walk out going, yeah, that was fun. That was okay. I feel less confident about that today than I was 48 hours ago. But I'm still pretty certain I'll leave seeing that movie going, yeah, it's okay. But I can say hands down, that is the worst Star Wars cinematic teaser to any Star Wars release ever. It did not do its job. It's supposed to spark interest. And I never encourage negativity, and I always encourage, regardless what I think of something, if you love something, who gives a shit what I think? And if I love something, if you don't like it, oh well, it's not going to bother me, Eddie. I strongly encourage everybody to approach all walks of fandom like that. But this thing is bad. And when I see out there cheap money grab from several big content creators and media outlets, how can you even deny that this is what this feels like? You get precisely one live action actor appear in this trailer that isn't an extra. That's embarrassing. It should at least feel like a movie. It's a bunch of set pieces and puppets, and you get nothing at all of the story. And I get it, it's a teaser trailer, but people, story has been revealed in teaser trailers for a decade plus now. I would argue we might have got more out of the original The Force Awakens teaser that came out the U.S. Thanksgiving weekend 13 months before the movie gave you a better idea what was coming out for The Force Awakens than what we get with this movie. And most people know that this is supposed to be season 4 of The Mandalorian, and they wrapped it down into a movie. And I desperately wanted them to find a way to make this thing feel like a movie. But the truth is, I don't know how you can watch this and go, this isn't just another run-of-the-mill season 3 episode of The Mandalorian. That doesn't mean that's what it'll be, but given off of what we've seen publicly, that's what it feels like. And why should we care about this movie when it appears Lucasfilm and Disney don't particularly care about this movie with the way they're handling it? Like, I don't think that is subjective. I think the marketing is embarrassingly bad for this movie when you compare it to what Starfighter has gotten so far and the coverage. Like, I'm almost at a point where it's like, fuck the theatrical release and just make this what you're doing for The Punisher, the Disney Plus special event or whatever. Do that instead of a theatrical release. It's not going to happen at this point, but I think having this be your first movie back when it's a cheap money grab is a bad idea considering the size of some of the projects they have coming that are currently filming too, might I add. I'm open to discussion. If anyone has anything to say on that, or if you just think I'm crazy, that's okay too.
Well, no. I already knew it was gonna be a cash grab just because of how prominent Grogu was in the teaser itself. That he is their cash cow, or at least that's who they feel their cash cow is, and they're gonna try to, and they're gonna try to push it. That's something that Lucas has always done from day one. Even though this isn't Lucas, but I'm saying even Lucas back. Just doing Star Wars, Ewoks were supposed to be a money grabbing thing. The Jar Jar Binks was supposed to be a money grabbing thing, and then of course with the sequel trilogy we get porgs and stuff like that. So BB-8, there's always going to be that one set of either one character or a set of characters. And that's always going to be the money grab. And for this, it's going to be Grogu, and that's why I personally think why he was out front the whole entire time for the most part. Could they do better? Of course they could. But let's also look at how many movies have always been ruined that were supposed to be blockbusters by the supposed teaser that gave everything away.
I'm not saying that's one real actor in this. One.
Well, I mean, there is a man under the helmet who's physically acting, but because
there's a good chance that is not Pedro Pascal.
I didn't say it was Pedro Pascal. I'm saying there was an actual human being.
Performer.
Well, we know it is. We know it is.
I'll go one step further. This doesn't feel like Star Wars. This feels like a cheap episode of a bad season of Power Rangers.
Where's the kaiju, damn it?
Didn't you see them in that hallway?
I swear, you're trying to kill Johnny. I think that's exactly what this whole night has been about.
The kaiju were in the hallway sequence when you could pass them just before the walkers, kind of. They were there for like 30 seconds. It was definitely, now that you say it, I definitely get Goldar vibes from those characters.
There's this moment on last night's Bannerman Banter where Zach and I are having a similar conversation with Ben, and it hits Ben because he's seen the celebration stuff, but he's also seen this stuff, and Ben's fairly in the know-how, as we've known from over the years. And it hits him, and he goes, literally on air, oh my God, there might actually be very few actors or actresses in this movie, and then it's all voiceover and stunt people and puppets and stuff. And I'm like, you think? Like, come on.
What possibly gave you that idea?
Oh, let's not forget Pedro Pascal filmed for a whole week, so we might see him for 90 seconds out of the helmet. it's bothersome. Star Wars isn't supposed to be cheap. I'm sorry, it's just not. Like they made A New Hope for cheap back in the day, and it hit, and they went over budget even on that one. And then the budget was supposed to be down for Empire, but still much higher than A New Hope. And the budget ballooned, and they had to take out last minute bank loans. And like Star Wars is just a big budget endeavor if done properly. And when you don't, it shows. So I really hope that Grogu and their cheap gimmick marketing that belongs in like the WrestleMania 17 gimmick battle royal is able to save this movie and they're able to make money off of it. Again, I hope I go see this with my kids and I have fun with it, and that Johnny doesn't try to strangle me on the way out of the theater.
I didn't try to strangle you after Nightmare on Elm Street, so you're safe. I think. We'll see,
bro.
Plus, I wouldn't do it in front of the
good
kids.
As Nightmare. So
the kid buffer will allow you to survive. Now, I might slip some slow acting poison in your drink if it's that bad, but don't worry.
Acting. Yeah, I don't know. Like I want this to be good. I don't want it to be bad, but like, why the hell should we believe in it if they clearly don't? You're gonna tell me that they believe in this movie with how it's been handled? Come on.
They've shadow dropped the teaser with no press. That's how much they've invested in this. Did anybody even see any like real posts prior to this that said it was coming? Or even when it dropped? Like, I learned about this from Sean in the chat. That's it.
I learned about it from Randy. Randy knew it was out before I was. I was working.
If Sean hadn't sent the message in the group chat, like if the message in the group chat didn't come through, I wouldn't have even known this trailer existed.
Comicbook.com, but no, I did not see the massive.
I mean, isn't that the most damning indictment of this trailer that we could possibly give? That there was no press behind it, and this is fucking Star Wars and Disney.
Yeah, I think that's fair. All
right, so let's look at it this way. Let's try, since Jon Favreau is the one who has written this, he's directed it, obviously on the producers team with Kathleen Kennedy and Dave Filoni. Let's hope we get Iron Man and not Iron Man 2. Let's look at it that way. Okay. Let's try to hope, put that positivity out there that even though that, yes, this is a shambles in terms of the type of marketing they're putting into it, which is literally nothing, that at least we get something solid out of it. And it's just not Iron Man 2. Let's hope for that.
Well, Randy, for your metaphor, I'll say this. We got Iron Man 1. It was season 1 of The Mandalorian where they captured lightning in a jar. Everything since
season
has been
2
every
is
Iron Man movie since.
I mean, season 3, I could say, yeah, man, yeah, I can see Iron Man 2.
It's diminishing returns since season 1. Season 1 was great. Season 2 was good. And everything since then has been steadily worse. So I don't know.
It felt, to me, season 3 felt like it was more about moments because of the reveal of Luke Skywalker at the end of season 2 and the type of media that went behind it and the social media outpouring for that. It's almost as if season 3 they felt the need to try to make moments rather than give us like a cohesive story. That's kind of like my take on it.
Well, let me tell you something. I'm not an Iron Man 2 guy at all. And this teaser makes that movie look like it's an Academy Award winner. And I stand by that. That's not hyperbole. That is how little faith I have in what they put out. It's worst case scenario for them. Tommy B, do you have any final thoughts? Sorry to be negative Nancy on you here, man, but like, I firmly stand by, why should we care if the people in charge seemingly don't care?
Because we get to see stories about characters that we genuinely care about. I'm not saying that I'm going to go to something that looks like, I don't know, a collection of newspaper comic stills, that could have been an email type of thing. But I certainly would love to have the opportunity to hear more stories exploring the Mandalorian and Grogu. One thing that I've been fairly consistent with about this, I didn't want to see this as a movie myself as a fan of the show. I wanted it a season 4 of the show. I don't know if this is considered cheaper, because typically making movies is not.
It is. No, it
cheaper.
is compared to 8 episodes.
Well, I think it's unfortunate that it came to this. I hope it attracts some eyes that may not have otherwise seen the story. And I hope that what we end up getting, what are we, like 3/4 out, ends up being good. You know, puts this, I don't know what we want to call this, soft launch or a poor launch with the poor marketing to shame. That'd be wonderful. I'm trying to keep some hope.
I get the keeping the hope part. I do. And I don't know if we're any Power Rangers fanatics from back in the day, but, Tommy leaves the show at the end of Turbo, and that's a gut punch. And it's like, can you still watch? And then In Space happens, and it's something else entirely, and you're given hope, and it's like, oh, this is fun. And then Lost Galaxy happens, and it's like, I'm holding on by a thread. This is not what I signed up for, but I have some hope. And then they drop Lightspeed Rescue on you, and you decide, yep, that's it for me. I'm done. I worry that this movie, for the casuals, and I'm not talking children, casual adults and teenagers, is going to be a bit of a laughing stock and feel like the Power Rangers. I'm not saying that tongue in cheek. I mean that for real. And then people won't give Starfighter a shot the next year. I understand that not every film you release is going to be this big spectacle blockbuster, but it's got to look better than what you're giving us right now. And I hope that I'm right when I say when I walk out of there, it'll be a lot of fun. But at the moment, right now, this does not feel like it should be a cinematic release. This feels like it has a chance to hurt the brand more.
I guess only time will tell.
And time's coming quickly. 8 months or so. So crazy.
Plenty time for reshoots and tidying up the effects. So
yes, well, when you only cast stunt people, reshoots shouldn't be that hard to put together. So stunt people and Muppets.
This film is going to be under the helmet.
Yeah, he'll be in it at some point because he was on set for a week. But I just mean all the other actors that you need to make a movie work. It cannot be a one-man show. And
unless it's actually a Muppets movie.
Yes, agreed. Which this might come across more like, to be honest. That is going to do it for this segment, though. Tommy B, thanks for coming on and spending some time with us, buddy. Looking forward to having you back on again to talk about whatever's relevant.
Yeah, peace out, guys. Happy to be with you all. Have a great evening.
Nothing but love for you, buddy. All right, fellas, as we get ready to close out here, and I don't have anything positive to say about WrestlePalooza. So this is what I'm going to make you guys decide here, and we got to be off in 10 minutes. That's the catch. Give me your 2 top matches from AEW All Out and why. Johnny, I'll start with Randy, actually, because Randy will keep it short and concise to some point.
So, Johnny, sorry, but I'm going to steal this one from you. But Hangman and Kyle Fletcher was absolutely amazing. Definitely one of those matches where it was interesting because that match went on just as they had Cena versus Lesnar going on. And I know why they did it, but that you were better off watching Kyle Fletcher versus Hangman Page because it was storytelling at its finest. Those two had some exchanges that were just the athleticism in it was just absolutely amazing. You can tell Kyle Fletcher is getting better and better in the ring, and he is definitely going to be the future, at least in wrestling in general, because we don't know what's going to happen with AEW and if anybody ends up going to WWE or anything like that. But if Fletcher sticks with AEW, he's definitely going to be like a future champion, no doubt. That was an absolute just amazing match from start to finish, and it sets things up nicely for Kyle Fletcher because Hangman did a great job of putting him over.
It was easily the best match of the day, bar none. It was a star-making experience. It was a star-making match for Kyle Fletcher, that's for sure. It sets him up as a genuine bona fide main eventer for essentially the rest of his career, at least as far as AEW goes. So it was a great match. There were spots that made me go, "Oh my god," and I loved it. It was a great match, and I didn't think the sparring, dichotomy between Bryan Danielson and Don Callis would be as good as it was. Bryan Danielson is fast approaching one of the best color guys out there.
He's been a gift since getting back behind that announcing table. He's been great.
Which brings me to my next match that I want to talk about, which is the one match that showed where maybe sometimes take Bryan off the table. That's the ladder match. Because it was a great match. It was a spot fest. It was exactly what you expected it to be. It was crazy. It was chaos. But every time they would do a spot and Bryan would be like, just grab the belts. The belts are right there. Just, it got too much, and like the spot where Bandito is setting up at the top of the ladder and he's clearly above the belts in visual and not grabbing them. And Bryan's freaking out on the, like, I understand the wrestler in him, that he's a technical guy at heart, and that's all well and good. And it's great. I love the enthusiasm that he brings to the table. Like when Bryan is excited and enthused, you can feel it. Like that main event, you could see every part of him just being a wrestling fan who loves watching wrestling and getting to experience that, which made it great. But in this match, he pulled you away from it too often in the setup to those big spots where it's grab the belt, get the belt, it took you out of the moment to where some of those big spots didn't hit like they should have because you were too focused on Bryan being like, damn, he's right. If he just grabbed, like, I understand that's, at least partially a production issue that they didn't have the belts up high enough, that when you're not deliberately going for them, you can't reach them, sort of thing, which that's fine. That's the sort of thing you learn. I mean, even WWE's made that mistake in the past, where they go through the production meetings and they don't hit the mark for the belts and they're in the wrong position. That it happens. That's production. I've seen, having actually witnessed a ladder match in person on a pay-per-view event, I saw, now granted this was a TNA event, like you'd expect some sophisticated rigging holding that belt, but literally when I watched the TNA event, it was literally two guys in the rafters holding ropes. That's what it was. That was the story. Now, obviously, I assume WWE and AEW aren't quite that archaic, but I still have that image in my head of two guys up in the rafters holding ropes to string the things in place. Now, granted, this was it wasn't a belt; it was a platform. It was the Jay Lethal Sanjay Dutt ring ladder match back at the TNA pay-per-view here in the local, like 2007, I think. But still, like it's the chaos of that. Like everything about that match was great. It was amazing. I enjoyed it far more than I thought I would. Like I'm sort of not all in on Brodito because I don't know. I like the team, but they're so diametrically opposed as individuals that the Beauty and the Beast thing, the Monster and Man thing, it doesn't do it for me the way I like. Now, it could just be because, Brody's the only one who can cut a promo in the group because I don't speak Spanish. Like maybe if Bandito could, that would help. You could get that, but like, I don't know. But they're putting on bangers. They're amazing matches after amazing because they're both great wrestlers. But I'll admit I was Team Jet Speed, or even give the Young Bucks another win because I'm actually enjoying this run with them buying, pyro and all that stuff. I'm enjoying it because it's humorous to me. But that's the match that for me kind of I wasn't expecting to be as good as it was. and yet it was great in everything except Brian, because he pulled me out of a few of those spots that made me go, damn it, Brian, I don't want to acknowledge that this sometimes spots are just spots, which he
Well,
did focus on.
then you have the speedball botch, which he's lucky, very lucky he didn't do any damage to himself when he went for, a backflip and to do the double knees, and he went through the rung. That was, and that Brody King spot walking on the ladder and just dropping down. He's like, I'm not making it to table, screw it. And I saw that ladder collapse. I was like, holy shit. But I mean, that's part of the types of, that's part of the ladder match. That's always a fun part of that stuff, is seeing what type of chaos can be caused on a ladder.
I
What
think
do you
still
guys
not
have
the
for your second matches?
So for my second match, I'm going to go MJF versus Mr. Briscoe. That match, tax and ladders.
tables, tax and tables.
Tax and tables. You might as well start with damn ladder in that son of a bitch, because they were just all over the place. And I love how MJF was selling everything of just like, I don't want to land on attack. I don't want to land on attack. Like he pushed the story forward in that, just of how ridiculous and dangerous that match really is. And the fact that he took the L, which, he's one of those guys that gets it, that whatever's best for business, putting Briscoe over in that respect. It was just all utter chaos, and they were going for it 100% full throttle. And that's why that was just such a great match to have. I'm glad that Briscoe got the win, and just, I love that type of sheer chaos, which you're never going to see in WWE. So
Yeah, it was a great match. It was much better than I expected to be. I figured it would be a relative, simple. As soon as MJF came out in white, I knew Mark was going to bleed like a stuck pig, that like he does so well. He did. I did not expect him to get the win. I thought MJF would get the W, especially coming off another huge L less than 12 hours before losing to Mystico in Mexico City. Like, two amazing matches in the span of 13 hours from the time he finished. Of those types, chef's kiss. I love MJF for that. He gets it. Like, you can see it not just in the way he talks, but in like some of the tweets and stuff that he's even since then, like he gets it, and he doesn't take himself too seriously to know that he can take a loss and still survive. The only other match I really there isn't so much any other match. I just want to give a couple kudos. Tony taking the L. I never in a million years predicted that in the women's title match. I figured if somebody else was going to win, that she would not be the one to take the L and take the pinfall, but she did. Now, granted, it was a surprise pin, but still, I did not expect that. I love Chris Statlander continuing her undefeated streak on Saturdays. That was fun. I enjoyed it. Will make her eventually losing more meaningful, I think. But like, the big one for me is Eddie Kingston missing the finish.
Yeah, I know.
And that one...
Damn ring rust.
It's not even so much ring rust, because it is, that's a spot that is very hard, because you can't just go full out and backfist somebody in the face, because you will knock them the fuck out. Like, that's a hard one to work. So it does have a very razor thin margin of error. But I genuinely thought that they would both be professional enough. Even Bryce in the ring with them would have been professional enough to realize, kick up, you got to do that again. Like, you can sell the glancing blow on commentary. Like, that's the part that sucked, because Brian is so good, and as a wrestler, not only did he not try and fudge it to like, oh, like Tony called it a glancing blow immediately because he knew it was the finish. Brian immediately, he missed. You can't do that on a finish. You cannot call that out, because it takes away from everything that they've done. Like, I loved, like, the match was fine for someone who hasn't wrestled in a year. Like, I love Eddie Kingston. I've been watching Eddie Kingston since like 2005, and I've been a fan of his that long. And I was excited for this match because I love Eddie. I love the opportunity to see him. Any chance you get to see Eddie Kingston is a great chance for me. But missing that finish in your first match back, yikes. Somebody had to call an audible there and be like, do it over. Do it fast. Do it over. Get the 2 count, pull him back up, get him back down, hit the back fist again, and go home. You gotta call an audible there. And they didn't. They just ran with it, and it's glaringly obvious that he missed. Not just from my standpoint, where I saw it, like right away, I was like, oh, he whiffed. He whiffed. Did not make any contact. Brian called out on commentary, and then Tony tried to salvage it. I think it was Tony. It might have been Excalibur. But then they tried to salvage it on the mic, like, oh, it was a glancing blow. It's a back fist in your face. It's a glancing blow. It's still enough to put you down for. No. He missed, and he missed hard. But other than that, it was still a good effort, good match from all the guys. I mean, Hook and Eddie Kingston, I really don't care about them as a tandem. But I don't hate it. They fit. They're 2 tough guys from the 5 boroughs. So it works gimmick-wise. They are a match. Probably better than Hook was with Joe and them. So it works on that regard. But, yeah. I don't like that his big return was ruined with a bad finish. And shout out to the opening scene for Wendell Clark and Bubbles. What?
Not so much the Bubbles part for me, but
I love the Bubbles
Clark
because it was so
great.
unexpected, like on top of the Wendell.
All I'll say about it is this, and this is going to sound terrible, but when they spiked Pell Drive Beth, that was fucking awesome.
I know, brought back some Dudley Boys vibes. I know.
Very much so. R.I.P. Mae Young. She was a trooper. Holy crap. That is going to do it for us this evening. Like, comment, subscribe, turn notifications to all. We'll be back tomorrow night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, with episode 6 of Ahsoka live on Patreon. And given all the Mandalorian talk here, I'm wondering if the next thing we turn to for Star Wars watch stuff might be the Mandalorian. We'll see. But Randy, where can everybody find you
at? Over at X at Gady Giles. Obviously, here on Tuesdays and sometimes on Mondays, I'll pop in here and there for Bannerman Banter. Also, getting with week 3 in the books. We're getting ready to record our 3rd episode of the Sports Brew for this season. If you like people talking sports, talking shit, drinking, and just all around just having fun and blasting each other, just Google Sports and Brew and you find it, no problem.
Packers game made me want to start drinking this week.
I bet it did.
Losing.
Johnny, what about you?
Yeah, you can find me here, there, and everywhere. Yeah.
Eagerly awaiting your second matchup for trivia, and who that opponent might be.
Not even a look.
That's going to do it for us, though. Thank you, our patrons, our channel sponsors. Once again, we wouldn't be here without you. We will see each and every one of you in the next